This morning we had a small private family service over my father's body at the funeral home with two of our beloved pastors. And one of the things we did during that time, besides the lovely liturgy, was to talk about my dad and the things we're grateful for. And one of the things that came to mind that embodied my father, but also my mother in their lifelong partnership of 55 years, almost 55 years on earth together, was their passionate, no-holds-barred caring about people, especially girls and young women. My parents had a passion in their retirement for speaking up about human trafficking, particularly little girls sold into slavery. But that wasn't just something that came up during their retirement. My whole life growing up, what I remember is how my friends were drawn to my parents. I didn't realize at the time that I had such a unique home life, that I had parents that every day when my dad came home from work, he would smooch my mom in the kitchen passionately. And though their marriage was not always easy, and they had some profoundly difficult times, they were always a team and forgave each other and loved each other. And they cared about people outside of our family. And I would come home sometimes and find friends of mine crying on my mom's shoulder in the kitchen. And I remember in particular one time in one of my classes in high school, a friend of mine telling me that she just tried speed. She was one of my good friends that, was often at our house. And I told my dad, and he just got up, he put on his coat, and he drove over to her house, and he knocked on her door and said, "We're going for a walk." And I don't know what they talked about, but I know my friend never imagined that anybody else's dad cared for her that much. I know it left a profound impact on her life. And that's how my parents were. You just throw propriety to the wind when there is a person involved, however awkward it may be. If a person is suffering, if they're in danger, you do what you need to do to find them, to love them, to rescue them. And yeah, sometimes you don't always need to rescue them per se, but I think you understand what I'm saying. There's only so much we can do as humans, but there is so much we can do as humans. And my parents did so much on an extremely personal scale as well as a large scale. So I was just wondering if you knew my parents, if you would like to share a way that you saw that in action, either in your life or their interactions with other people. What did they show you? What did they teach you? How did they encourage you? Were you at the receiving end? Were you at the watching end? I'd love to hear about that.